I've told clients not to hire me. Not because I was busy, not because I didn't want the project, because I genuinely believed the website redesign would have been a waste of their money. And honestly, that's a strange thing to say when you've spent over 20 years building websites. But after doing this for as long as I have, I've noticed something that makes me uncomfortable about this industry. Businesses assume that when leads drop, traffic slows down, or growth stalls, the website must be the problem. So they do what everyone tells them to do. Let's redesign the website. And sometimes, that's the worst possible decision they can make. I've watched businesses spend $5,000, $10,000, even more, fixing a problem that didn't actually exist. Because a redesign changes how a website looks, it doesn't automatically change how a business works. And once I started seeing this pattern over and over again, I stopped recommending redesigns first. I've been building websites for over 20 years, not just designing them, working with businesses after launch, watching what happens 6 months later, a year later, 3 years later, and that's where you start noticing patterns. The website launches, everyone is excited, the business owner feels relieved. The agency posts the portfolio piece. Then 6 months later, the phone isn't ringing, the leads aren't coming, traffic hasn't changed, and everybody starts asking the same question: what happened? The assumption is usually that the website failed. But after seeing this happen enough times, I started asking a different question. What if the website wasn't the thing that failed? What if we diagnosed the wrong problem from the beginning? Because I've learned something that's honestly a little uncomfortable to admit as someone who builds websites. Sometimes the best website redesign is no redesign at all. Most business owners don't wake up one morning and decide they want to redesign. Something happens, leads drop, traffic declines, a competitor launches a beautiful new website, an AI tool builds a website in 30 seconds, or somebody says, your website looks outdated, and suddenly everything gets blamed on design. I've had clients call me and say, our website isn't generating leads. Okay, fair concern. Then I start looking. Nobody is visiting the website. There's no offer, no clear call to action, no follow-up process, no analytics, no way to measure anything. At that point, what exactly are we redesigning? We're redesigning assumptions. Another one I see constantly. Our competitor redesigned their website. And my first question is always, how do you know their new website is performing better? Usually the answer is, I don't. It just looks newer, and somehow looking newer became evidence of business success. This is why I started recommending website audits before redesigns. Not because audits are exciting. They're not. Nobody wakes up wanting a website audit. But an audit forces you to stop guessing. Because when I audit a website, I'm not asking, does this look modern? I'm asking, are people finding this website? What are they doing when they get there? Where are they leaving? What pages matter? What pages don't? What devices are people using? How fast is the website? Can users actually figure out what you're selling? Can they contact you? Can they trust you? Are you measuring anything? Because if you don't know those answers, redesigning the website first is a little like repainting a car before checking whether the engine works. It might look fantastic. It still won't get you where you're trying to go. Actually, one of the biggest surprises I've discovered over the years is that some of the ugliest websites I've worked on performed incredibly well, and some of the most beautiful websites I've ever seen performed terribly. That bothers a lot of designers. It bothered me too, because we're trained to believe good design creates good results. But businesses don't buy websites. They buy outcomes. I've seen companies obsess over animations, video backgrounds, hover effects, page transitions, while their mobile site took 12 seconds to load. I've seen businesses spend thousands on visual upgrades, while customers couldn't even find the phone number. And I've had clients ask me to rebuild their entire website, when the actual problem was that nobody knew the website existed. That realization changed how I look at websites, because once you start paying attention to behavior instead of appearance, you start seeing very different problems. Recently, I've started seeing a new version of this, the AI website client. They'll say, "We used AI to build our website, but it's not working." And honestly, sometimes the AI website isn't the problem. Sometimes the website itself is perfectly fine. The problem is that the business strategy was never there to begin with. No positioning, no differentiation, generic messaging, no trust signals, no conversion path, no traffic strategy, no content strategy, no audience strategy. People are asking AI to solve business problems by generating web pages. That's a lot to ask from any tool. And this is probably the part some people will disagree with. I don't think AI is destroying web design. I think AI is exposing how many businesses never had a strategy in the first place. And that's an important distinction. What has your experience been with AI-generated websites? Have you seen one actually outperform a strategically planned website? I'd genuinely be curious. The reason I like website audits isn't because they tell you what's wrong with your website. It's because they tell you what's wrong with your assumptions. Sometimes the problem is your offer. Sometimes it's your pricing. Sometimes it's your messaging. Sometimes it's your follow-up process. Sometimes your traffic disappeared. Sometimes you never had traffic. Sometimes people visit your website and leave because they don't understand what you do. And occasionally, the website itself really is the problem. That's the funny part. Website audits don't prove that redesigns are unnecessary. They help you understand when redesigns actually matter. Because if the site is technically outdated, broken on mobile, impossible to navigate, or creating friction for users, absolutely, redesign it. But at least now you're redesigning the right thing. After 20 years building websites, I've become much less interested in making websites look better, and much more interested in understanding why they aren't working. Because businesses rarely fail because their website wasn't modern enough. They fail because they solved the wrong problem. A redesign fixes appearance. An audit investigates performance. And those are not the same thing. So if you're thinking about redesigning your website right now, before you spend thousands rebuilding it, ask yourself one question. Do I actually know what's broken? Or am I just assuming it's the website? Because sometimes the smartest website investment you'll ever make is discovering that you didn't need a new website at all. And if you would like more tips on running a smooth, profitable web design business, please like this video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any valuable tips. My name is Fabio Peters. Until next time, take care.